Well, let's go to Sheena, who joins us in Minnesota. Sheena, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sheena, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
So I wanted to call just to kind of get another perspective. I've been in my job for a long time, 13 years, and I really, at the core of it, like what I do, but I'm feeling I'd rather work for myself than work for a company. There's just things that I know I can't control, and I feel like part of me is feeling guilty about this just because I am very valued and appreciated and feel really loyal towards my company.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, I'm feeling like I really want to think about just what is the right path for me long term. And my biggest challenge probably is just understanding what is the right path or journey to exit my current role and be able to free myself up to start a business.
Okay.
The job I currently have is pretty,
No, keep going.
The job I currently have is pretty demanding. I've done a pretty good job of finding a balance, but I am in a little more of a leadership role, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. So I think for my husband and I, we've talked a lot about just, do I exit so that I can really start to invest my time into a future career as an entrepreneur?
Sounds to me like you have the ability to do that financially. You guys don't need your income?
We don't. I think it's a hard pill for me to swallow just because, it's cutting our income pretty much in half. And I know we can do it, but it's just one of those things where I've worked really hard to.
I get it. Well, I'm not saying you have to do that. So slow down. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a deep breath because I know where to take you. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas on what this side business would be? Let me put it to you this way. What would be the business idea, the business that you would start tomorrow if I guaranteed you couldn't fail?
I would do a shop, like a boutique shop that could grow into something bigger.
Nice. What kind of things would you offer in this boutique shop?
It would be really anything from like clothing to home decor, just more of an experience-based shop.
Gotcha.
Like down the road type of picture would be like having a coffee shop, little cafe inside, like something that you could go to with your mom and your sisters and shop for hours.
Nice. And then sit there and talk about what you just bought over coffee and frou-frou drinks and desserts.
Yeah, and then maybe go buy more.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. So do you have a shop that you frequent that is kind of like this, or you've been in before that kind of marries this idea?
I've been in a couple of things like that in different communities from where I live.
Great. Okay. So do you have any idea what it would cost from renting space to buying inventory, all the way from the coffee to the desserts to the clothing to the crafts and all the things that would be in this frou-frou boutique place? Do you have any idea how much it would cost to actually get that up and running to where somebody could walk in the door?
I've done some exploring on that, but I think where my head is at is I would almost start digitally and then just build out towards that.
Yay.
And have it be a long range.
Yay. Sheena is so smart, everybody. Well, but you still need to know that answer. So you've done some research, but you need to have a really good idea, and don't short sell yourself. Don't go, well, I could do it probably for this cheap. No, never can. You can never do it for what you think you can. You need to get multiple ideas from people who've started shops like this and get a really good understanding of what the capital outlay is. Because I don't want you going into debt for this, because I think that's tragic. It's not only just bad money decision, it could really crush you. So if we start the online version, it's still going to cost you some money for that inventory. The question is, do you have to buy it, or is it where essentially you become a reseller and, you're not having to stock anything, so there's low risk. I mean, you need to do that homework, and I think you probably have. And I think that's a great way to start. And here's the other thing, that's a side hustle. Even though you all don't need your income right now, I would have you start this on the side with 1, 2, or 3 products from maybe only 2 or 3 categories. Don't try to do too much. Like pick a couple of 3 to 4 buckets of the type of things you would sell in your dream store. And then maybe only offer 3 or 4 items in each of the buckets. And really do your homework on what it takes to win, whether it's Etsy, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of the above, because that's probably what it should be on some level. And then really get that thing up and running and prove the concept. And keep your job, even though it's intense. If you're a leader, which you are, you can delegate some stuff, but give it 10, 15 hours a week. And get it up and going and prove it. Sock some money away so that when you do go into this full time, you've got maybe 6 months of what your current salary is stocked away in case you do need it, even though you're planning to tighten up. And I just don't think you need to get in a hurry here because you've got a very clear dream, Sheena. And I think the biggest mistake that people make when they're in your shoes, because you really want to do it, you really want to work for yourself, and your husband's super supportive, which good on him, by the way, is you get in a hurry. Oh gosh, I got to do this. I got to do this now. And it's like, is it worth trying to do it now? Full speed? No, because you can keep that job, keep making money, keep saving money. And there will get to a point where you guys go, okay, now is the time. I feel pretty good. Like now I can step away. So I think you're on the right path. And I think that the exit strategy is based on confidence, based on real numbers. When you see this thing starting to prove itself online and you got 3-6 months worth of receipts coming in, real revenue, and you see it kind of growing a little bit or staying pretty solid, I think that becomes the time that you decide, okay, I'm going to step away. Does that make sense? I know I hit you with a lot, but I wanted to walk you right up into that decision point.
It does make sense. I do have a couple
Go for it.
Potential follow-up questions. First one is, there is a chance for conflict of interest, so that's something I have to consider. But then the second thing is there's some positions available like really close to my home where I could do more support type work and keep some income, but not necessarily, like my income would be cut in half, but it would be at least something that's a little more of a step away, I guess. I'm just thinking if long-term my decision is that I'm going to leave eventually, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I like both of those options. But let me speak to the first one. If there is a conflict of interest, maybe you do what I suggested a moment ago. And you stay working and you sock away as much money as you can. Okay? And so maybe you got yourself a 3-month cushion, 6-month cushion of your money. Just you don't spend it, you just save it. You guys start sacrificing now. Or maybe you only put 3 months of your income away. And then you leave cold turkey, so there is no more worry about conflict of interest. Or option B is a great option too, where you remove the conflict of interest and you're working part-time, less money, but it's at least more money than no money coming in. And you give this thing a go. I like those options.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Listen, you got this.
I was shocked I got through.
I appreciate you calling, but listen, Sheena, I want you to know you got a good plan here, but really prove this thing online before you ever think about spending a nickel in rent to do a brick and mortar store. You know what I mean? You'll thank me for that later. There's no need to hurry into that. There's just too much potential risk.